What's up? Welcome back to another episode of the MindShare Podcast. This is where we cut through the noise, say the things that need to be said, and give you real strategies to help you work smarter, build mindshare, and grow a business that actually makes money. This is episode number 348, and I got two big things happening right now that I want to share with you. First, the Ontario Realtors Care Foundation Ride for Shelter is coming up. This is something I am proud to be a part of again this year, and it's not just a motorcycle ride. This is about raising money and awareness for shelter-related causes that impact people right here in our communities. If you'd like to make a donation, please visit my rider page, go to my Instagram, and click the link in my bio. Second, our MindShare Mastermind is just around the corner, September 15th to 17th in Toronto, and we've got about a handful of tickets left. Now, this isn't your typical conference. This is a room full of top performers and growth-minded business owners where we roll up our sleeves, solve real problems, and leave with strategies you can implement right away. Visit my website, mindshare101.com, for details and to reserve your spot right now before we fill up. Now, here's why both of these things tie perfectly into today's topic. Relationships. See, because the people you surround yourself with, in business, in charity, in life, they directly influence your success. But networking isn't just swapping business cards or connecting on Instagram. It's about building real relationships that create trust, that create credibility, and that create opportunity. Today, we're going to break down exactly how to do that. I'm going to give you a step-by-step follow-up plan so you can turn connections into contracts without feeling pushy or salesy. Let's get into it. So, networking versus relationships. Most people think they're out there networking when they're speaking with people. You know, I'm there, I'm networking. And don't get me wrong, there's an aspect to that of, yes, it is just about, be there and be around people and speak with people. But what people are really doing is they're trying to collect contacts. Now, there's something to be said in sales that, and I always say it on a regular basis, right? Try to meet somebody new every single day. Always pulling in someone new into your database. But again, that right now is just a contact. It doesn't mean it's a relationship. It doesn't mean it's an opportunity. So you got to think about it. The networking part, the meeting people, that's not the hard part. That's actually the easy part. It's kind of like, hey, my name's Dave. Hey, nice to meet you. My name's so-and-so. You forget even what they said because you weren't even focused on their name. You were focused on your name. You see them once, maybe you see them twice, and you never really see each other again because you didn't create a real connection. Networking is just like it's like a handshake. It's like click and follow. It's like clicking like. It's easy. But it's the relationship building part that actually gets hard. It's the part that says you've got to deliver consistently. You want to be, value driven. So when you're putting things out there, you want to make sure there's value for the other person. And of course, we want to be intentional with people. Intentional about what we say to them, intentional about, the conversations we have, intentional about when we reach out. Again, the networking part is not hard. Meeting people, shaking hands, and getting some contact info isn't the hardest thing in the world. But building that ongoing relationship, again, there is the hard part. Now, we know that in this business, relationships are the gold. The cliche. We say it all the time. People do business with the ones that they know, they like, and they trust. Pretty simple. And we also know that with one single strong connection, one single strong relationship, there's an opportunity to open doors for another one, and 5 more, and 10 more, and maybe even 100 more people that you can meet. See, when we think about relationship, and again, I'm trying to illustrate the difference here when we talk about the fact that it's not just about knowing somebody, but it's about creating a true connection. Because when you start to have a true connection with another person, and again, this ain't new to you. You know this stuff. But now you've got a presence in somebody's life. Now you've got the opportunity to influence that in the positive, in the negative, to be somebody who's incredibly helpful, to be somebody who they can lean on. But again, you're not just somebody who shows up in someone's inbox or on somebody's social feed. It's two totally different things. Online networking. I can join any group I want to join right now. Does that mean I know all the people in there? I've got a relationship with all of them? Of course it doesn't mean that. Now it's a matter of me taking the time and putting in the effort to actually building those relationships. Now, why again are we talking about all this? Well, we know that if we haven't got a relationship, we really haven't got trust. We haven't got to know you. We haven't got to like you, and there's no way we're going to have to trust you. And of course, if we haven't got to trust you, how are we ever going to get their business? Like, we're talking a buyer, and if you want to go even further, when it comes to trust, a seller. How is that going to happen if we're not out there focused on a daily basis on building our relationships? See, your network, our network, it's not about who we know. It's really about who knows us. And not just who knows us, but who thinks of us when the opportunity comes. That means we've really dug deeper into the connections with those individuals. Not just a contact, not just, hey, I was out there networking, but the fact that we've created a real network where you rely on me and I rely on you. And if I need something, I might be able to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to call you up. I'm going to ask you if you know somebody because I trust you. You and I have a relationship. And that relationship, well, let me pause for a second. Let's say the roles were reversed and you called me up and said, hey, have you got somebody that can help me with X? There's a good chance I've got somebody that can help. Why? Just because I've expanded my network over the years, but much the same. Any of us can find a solution to anything we're looking for, but the reason you've called is because you want somebody that, well, you can trust. Now, you may not know the person, but you trust me, so you think, hey, I trust him. If he tells me to call that person, I will call that person. And again, there's the network. Much the same, I'll tell you straight. I may have somebody for you, but I don't trust them. Or I don't think you two are going to jive. I'm going to tell you straight up, I don't have somebody. Why? Because I don't want to burn the relationship that you and I have together. I want you to continue to trust me. So much the same when we talk relationships lead to referrals. Now, many people are willing to give those out pretty quickly, not really caring about the ramifications after the fact of the experience that the person may have, negative or positive. I very much care. I put a lot of weight on a referral. I put a lot of weight on, if I'm going to give you somebody's name, I'm going to call that person and make sure that person's taking care of you. Because I don't want you to think that when David says something, it doesn't hold a lot of weight. No. When I give a referral, I have made sure that that person's going to take care of you. Otherwise, I'm not making it. So again, we think, the network. If you called that person and said, hey, David told me to call, that person's going to say, oh, hey, David's amazing. We love David. Thanks for calling. We want to help you. As opposed to, who's David? Right? So again, we've got to be very careful about when we give out referrals and we tell people we've got relationships, we've got connections. Somebody who's a contact doesn't necessarily mean they're a relationship. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're in your network just because they're in your contact list. This is about building it. This is about putting the time and effort into it. So, action steps as always. Okay. Go through your contact list. Build yourself a top 25 list. And this is literally the top 25 people who could most impact your business over the next, say, 12 months. Doesn't mean they're going to sell. Doesn't mean this is the person who told you they're going to sell. Doesn't mean they're the one with the biggest house, worth the most money. This is about looking at the top 25 people within your contact list that you've got a strong relationship with, who each have their own network, who you could continue to communicate with. And those communications don't have to be business related. Those communications can simply be personal related, as they should be. So you think you want to include past clients, you want to include, again, referral partners. You want to include some folks that might be, colleagues of yours that are great, people that have some good influence in the community, some great past clients of yours that again have other people that they know. We want to commit to continuing to push the envelope on those relationships before we go out there constantly chasing new ones. I mean, the simplicity of this is make sure you're focused on these people before you're trying to find brand new people. And I'm not saying don't find brand new people. But what I'm emphasizing here is there are a group of people within that contact list of ours that are incredibly valuable to us. We just need to make sure we identify them and that we work hard to create that real connection or continue to build on that connection through, again, consistent, value-driven, intentional conversation. Now, it's one thing to understand, what is a real, relationship versus what's just somebody who's a contact card in our CRM. But either way you slice it, and again, I've always said it, right? Again, meet somebody new every single day. Whether they're on your contact list, group number one, who are people who know us, like us, and trust us, or they're in your, call it farm area, group number two, the people that we don't really know. They don't necessarily know us. And we do want to meet some of those new people every single day. Again, where most people screw up is they meet somebody. They say, yeah, we're going to get in touch, or, I'm going to follow up with you. Or they go out there having the conversation, doing the prospecting, and then nothing. Nothing ever happens after the fact. But we've heard it before, and we'll say it again. Your fortune is in your follow-up. And if you're putting in the effort, putting in the time, and even spending some dollars to go out there and prospect and meet new people and be part of that networking event, and maybe you attended a golf tournament or a charity motorcycle ride, okay, anything. It is up to you and only you to take advantage of the opportunity and put this person in a database and then set them up to have a proper follow-up system. Now, within our coaching program, we teach about the 10-year plan. This is what we call a bulletproof follow-up strategy. The idea here in sort of what we'll call a real easy sort of 4-step process. First and foremost, you meet somebody new. It's very simple to get contact information, whether you ask them for an email, you ask them for a phone number. Hey, you on Instagram? Oh, yeah? What's your handle? Boom. You get the handle. I just hit follow. You're going to see it from me. Mine's David Greenspan 101, which, by the way, if you tuned into this podcast, and we are not connected on social media yet, Instagram, David Greenspan 101. Click follow. Let me know that you've been listening to the show. I am truly, truly grateful. But look how that works. In an immediate touch, immediately after the fact, there's a quick touch point. You're going to send me a DM. You're going to say that you listen to the show, and I'm going to respond to you. And we've now got this little personal reference. Hey, it was great to meet you at the golf tournament. Or it was so awesome riding those bikes with you. What an event. Or I know that you're into sailing. Maybe I'll talk to you about sailing because we had a conversation about that, or the Blue Jays. I mean, the list goes on. My kid just went back to school. Yes, in August. It's the school that he's going to. Whatever. Top of August. He's back to school. But I mean, have you got a kid going to high school for the first time? I do. We could talk about that. So immediately after you meet somebody, your first real step is send a quick follow-up. Think about the channel, the contact information that you might have gotten for that person when you met them. Connect. No selling. Just be genuine. Hey, it was great to meet you. Oh my God, that was such an awesome ride. Why don't we should get back together. Let's go ride again, or let's go for another round of golf together. Hey, I wanted to catch up with you on that thing. You got time for coffee? What's the harm in asking? The worst you can hear is no. And that's not all that bad. And in fact, if you created a real genuine relationship from the first time you met and had some good times and some good laughs or some good smiles, and you continue it along the personal level to begin with, there's zero reason to need to get into business right off the top. You see, it's all about real, genuine relationships. It's all about continuing to have that conversation and creating that connection point with people. So we've met somebody. Our first immediate next step is a quick touch point. From there, Very simply put, we have to make sure that we're going to have a follow-up plan. Okay, so the second step here is to think about how are we going to connect further. So let's just start it off, for example, and say, I've got your cell number, okay? Or I connected with you by email. Maybe I got your email information. Maybe the first message I'm going to send you, and that's always something that we're going to try to do, by the way, as well, is not just get a social media contact information. We want to get a real phone number. Text message is a very personal thing. So I'm going to send you that quick text. And now the next thing I want to do is I want to try to expand that onto another channel. Connecting with you on social media. Maybe going over to one of your posts or a few of your posts and making some comments. Maybe I'm going to send you something. But the idea now is we had that first immediate touch point within, say, a 24 to 48 hour period after meeting the person. Now we want to continue that within the next week, week and a half. We want to have another touch point. Again, something soft, no selling, just value add. Maybe to the relationship, maybe to something you guys were talking about. And of course, the next step here, because we're not going to remember how to do all this, or we're not going to remember all the contact info, we're not going to remember all the conversations, these people have to go into your CRM. Immediately, you put this person in your CRM. I don't care if you just have an Instagram handle. You've got a first name, potentially a last name, and an Instagram handle, or a phone number, or an email, or maybe a couple of those things. But we've got to put them into the CRM. Think about it. Go down the road here for a moment. If they were to buy or sell a piece of property, if they were to get involved with purchasing something that had to do with anything that you do for a living, whether you're in real estate or not, would it piss you off if they didn't work with you? And if you're thinking, of course it would, I wanted the business, well then we've got to make sure we stay in touch. So by putting them in the CRM and setting them up on the 10-year plan where every sort of 90 to 120 days, we've got a real active touch point, be it a phone call, a text message, a direct message through social media. And then what we start to do is throughout that time, because we're taking notes about the touch points we've had and the channel that we use to have that conversation, now we're able to do is actually see how many personal convos have I had that now it's time to go for the business, and how many business convos have I had that now it's time to go to the personal. And now we can rotate between the personal touches, birthdays and milestones and life events, and the business touches like, market updates or CMAs or an invite to your event. Speaking of an event, you better be coming to the MindShare Mastermind. And I don't say that for me. I say that for you. Because this is going to be the best event that you attend all year. And if you only attend one this year, this is the one you want to be at. It's not some big, massive conference with hundreds or thousands of people. We're talking classroom-sized. We're talking roll up your sleeves. We're talking solving problems, including yours, and you coming out a better version of you. Again, go to the website. If you have any questions, check out the details, learn more about the event, because this is an event you want to be at. And as we're talking about building relationships and creating networking, attendees who have attended this event send referrals back and forth to each other. They do more business year over year because they were at the event. And you can go to our social medias and you can go to our website and you can see the testimonials and see all the amazing things that people have to say. And our speakers, you can't beat them. You won't find them in just any other event. They don't come to those events because we curate the best. We curate topics and ideas that are going to help you get to where you got to get to. Anyhow, let's go back to this, okay? So we're talking about putting people in a CRM. And we're talking about adding them into a database so you've got consistent follow-up on a regular basis, and you can differentiate between what channels you used and whether you went personal or you went business, and different things that you want to remember about these folks. So that in time, we are building on the relationship. I'm a baseball guy. The more you connect with me about baseball, the more we're going to talk. I'm a Harley guy. The more you talk to me about my Harley, the more we're going to talk. But if all you do is come at me trying to sell me something, I'm probably going to steer away from you for the most part. And a lot of times when we're doing this, by the way, we look and we say, okay, I've got David in my database. Haven't spoken to David in 90 to 120 days, and I really want David's business. But the last time I spoke to David, we talked business. Oh, man. So you're telling me I just got to call and do a personal touch point today, or just send a text message on a personal touch point today? Like, I can't even talk business? Correct. Unless, of course, David said to you, hey, call me in 3 or 4 months because I'm thinking about doing X. Well, then at that point, yes, you can come back. But I would argue that in between that time, because you knew that you were going to call back in 3 or 4 months for business, that you need to shorten the cycle for what your touch points look like and ensure that you're doing the personal stuff along the way. So we don't want to be looked at by people as just sales, as just business. It's really important that they understand that we're part of the network, that we've worked hard to build a relationship with them. So again, step 3, you want to make sure you put them in the CRM. And I'll argue that's just step 1. But of course, step 1 is meeting the person. Step 2 is actually sending them a message. Now we want to go ahead and put them in the database. Put the contact info, put all the notes that we've got about them, anything we've had in terms of conversation, and schedule our next touch point. Once you hit save and let the CRM save it, now we go back to that top 25 list. Now we go back to your entire contact list. And every single person is in there set up for next touch point. And there's going to be many of them that don't do anything. And that's just the way it goes. But there's going to be at least 1, maybe 2, possibly 10 or more that are going to do something. And because you decided to do the follow-up that you're supposed to do and follow the process the way you're supposed to follow it, you've just made yourself tens of thousands of more dollars. You could be at hundreds of thousands of more dollars. In fact, you could be in millions of more dollars. Depends on the size of your contact list, the quality of your network, and your discipline to building relationships through follow-up. Now, when we look to the 4th step, because I told you it's 4 steps, real simply put, we're converting. Okay, when the opportunity arises, you've built so much mind share that you're going to get the market share. They're going to think of you. And you've built enough trust that you're going to be able to ask for the business without feeling like you're being transactional. Now, this is where we go deeper into our sales strategy of what we call the assumptive close, and we'll save that one for another time. But the assumptive close, you assume that you've just got the business because you've done everything else so right. Follow-up isn't about, it's not about pestering people. It's about proving that you care enough to stay in touch. It's about showing people that you actually care about who they are. Again, if you talk to me about baseball or you talk to me about Harleys, I know that you know who I am. And if you make true, real connection and conversation about those topics, you're probably going to get me talking longer than if you tried to sell me something. So your action steps here, I want to encourage you, go through your last 10 connections. Where are they now in your follow-up funnel? The last 10 people that you met, where are they? How many times have you followed up? Are they in the system? Do you have a next touch point scheduled? And if you don't, do it today. Okay, schedule a touch point for each of those people. Put them on the 10-year plan. And look, I'm a big believer that, and the reason we call it a 10-year plan is because people don't make moves, especially in real estate. They probably move on average every 7 to 12 years. So by keeping somebody on there for at least 10 years, you're giving yourself a really good opportunity to get some business down the road as long as you're building a relationship along the way. Now, of course, every once in a while, we might have those people that just aren't going to do business with us, or they're not our people. We just don't like them. They don't like us. That's fine. You know what? You want to take them out? Take them out. And then take that time and refocus it on those more high-value relationships. However, please note, okay, do not just take people out because they haven't done business with you in a year or 2 years. And don't take them out just because you sucked at follow-up. Doesn't mean they're not going to do anything with you. And plus, you've already got them in the database. Why wouldn't you try to do something? Again, there's always going to be some of those people that like just gone. Fine, get rid of them. But for the most part, I want you to remember 10-year plan. Because people do not move every day. So again, we're thinking about right away. I met somebody. Immediately, I'm going to try to get contact information. And within the next 24 to 48 hours, I want to get in touch and just say what's up. Reference something of where we met. The next step is within a week from that, again, I want to continue the conversation. Maybe even harnessing and leveraging the social medias. I also immediately, as a step, want to put these people in my database, and then I want to continue to stay in touch. The business will come. The relationships will build. Therefore, the business will come. The referrals will come. Your network will grow. Okay, so audit those last 10 connections. Do that. I'm telling you right now, you've got deals in your database. They are sitting there for you. How much money are you leaving on the table by not doing this? Quick commercial break here. This episode is brought to you by Kit's Keep in Touch Systems, the CRM that helps you build the mind share to generate the market share. REM Real Estate Magazine, the voice of Canadian real estate. And Revel Realty, bold marketing, real support, and real results. Be sure to grab your copy of our free Ultimate Marketing Bundle at MindShare101.com. This is going to walk you through 7 ways to communicate to 2 audiences. It's going to show you exactly how to create a marketing mix that's going to help you build that mind share so that you get that market share. And of course, while you're there, be sure to check out our one-to-one coaching, the MindShare Collective Group Coaching, momentum training, and of course, have I said this to you yet? Lock in your seat for the MindShare Mastermind happening in September 15th to the 17th right here in Toronto, 2025. This is going down. This is happening. And you want to be there. We've got I think a handful of seats left. In fact, we might just be under that now. But this is a room you want to be in. You know, if you're looking to solve problems this year, if in your head you're thinking, I got so much more in me, or I'm racking my brain, or I'm working so hard and things aren't coming, or, I'm looking for solutions. I mean, whatever it is you're looking for, I'm telling you right now, it's in this room. And I know you don't believe me right now. So that's why I'm going to tell you again. Go to the website, MindShare101.com, check out the videos. Go to the social media, watch the testimonials. You're looking for answers. I know you are. Everybody is right now. This economy is the toughest we've seen in 20 years. This is your moment. This is your sign. If you've been looking for one, this is it. Again, go to MindShare101.com, grab those tickets, do it right now. Actually, no, don't do it right now. Finish this episode, then do it. Okay, we've got a few minutes left here. Let's lock back in. Your mindset, your mindset around expectations. Okay, because we always create these things in our head about what we think something should be, or how it's going to be, or why it's different than what I thought it was going to be. I mean, we do that. Now, in business, in life, but in business, you can do everything right and still, for some reason, not get the deal, which is really frustrating. But it happens. In fact, it happens often. In fact, it happens more often than getting the deal. If you're doing the work, because that means that you're taking a lot of shots and you're increasing your scoring chances by shooting more. So the key here is to managing our expectations, that we just don't take it personally. See, some people just aren't ready. And that's not a reflection on your value. That's not a reason to question yourself about who you are and what you bring to the table and if you have any self-worth. Just some people aren't ready. Could be timing. Could be budget. Could be something personal. We can't control that stuff. But our job is to stay focused on staying in the game to be there when they are ready. It's about making sure we're staying in touch. It's about the consistent communication. It's about the relationship building. It's about the expanding of your network. So we can't measure a relationship by the deal that we close today. Instead, we want to measure it based on the doors that it could open tomorrow. And I have to continue to say this. Those doors don't necessarily need to be monetary, a business deal. It could simply be the expansion of your network. It could be meeting somebody so incredible that will never do business with you, but will be such a source of referral, such a powerful networker on their own, that when they speak your name, people listen. And because of that, your business grows. And I'll even go beyond business. This could be opportunities on a personal level for something extracurricular that you or your family are involved in. The more you build your relationships, the tighter your network gets, the stronger your network gets, and the more expanded your network becomes. So, action steps here. Decide ahead of time how many touches you're going to make before you let go. Okay? And I'm going to say to you right now, my decision is you're going to be on these people for the next 10 years minimum. You're going to have 3 to 4, say 3 to 4 very active touch points in a year. Like very active. We're talking like the phone call, the text message. But then within it, we're going to start to mix in other channels, from the social to the email to the, to the value adds that we're adding. And I'm not going to give you the entire house away today. If you're coaching with me, we talk a lot about this stuff. If you're not, well, you should be, because we give you the step-by-step to exactly how to stay in touch with people, exactly what to do to make sure that we're actually building the mind share so that we're getting the market share. In this case, what I'm saying to you is, again, you want to think about a strategy for how many times you're going to be in touch throughout a year, what channels you're going to use, and then stay disciplined and consistent in the process. And throughout that time, as you're having conversations, there's going to be that mix between the personal and the business stuff. We've got to separate the business rejection from like personal rejection, let's call it. So, for example, if somebody says to you, not ready to make a move right now, well, that's business. That ain't personal. Whereas if you reach out to people and they continue to ghost you, forget about the business side of things. That's just personal. And please, again, I know another one of those, I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. Don't ghost people, right? It's such a tarnished look on the reputation you have, on the image you have, on the potential relationship you have with that person, especially if this is somebody you know, that you actually don't mind talking to or that you know you're going to see again. One of the worst things you could do is ghost somebody. People know you got the message. They know you saw that you saw that they called or texted or just respond. Again, the more you do that, the more you increase your chances to get that back from other people. Okay? So again, keep showing up for your network. Keep being there. Keep being present. They're not always going to look or talk the way you thought they would. Don't judge a book by its cover. Seriously, don't judge a book by its cover. You have no idea who will continue to come into your network. And if you had to sit there and pick before they came in, you might not choose those people. But be open. Embrace the opportunities. Because if you don't, somebody else will. Now, I keep coming back to this 10-year plan and this multi-channel approach and support. You've heard me say it before, many a time. We've got to be seen everywhere. In other words, we need to be building the mindshare. Now, last episode I told you about one of my clients who is absolutely crushing it right now with a YouTube channel, and paired that up with paired that up to a specific audience with a real live in-person door knocking strategy. So they isolated right down and said, and of course the YouTube's going to have a more expansive reach. But they're ensuring that channel's also targeting directly to this group of people that they can now physically get out there with and go and speak to. So online, they're building recognition. In person, they're building trust. And of course, together, it's creating this, celebrity effect. People already feel like they know them. Now, that's just one example. I know we talked about a little bit more in the last episode. And I even mentioned another client of mine who's really increased his social media strategy, which has led to a lot more conversations with people in person as well, because they're following, they're seeing. And now when he's not around, they're getting to get a glimpse into what he's up to and what he's doing and where his thoughts are, or where his passion is. And that's given them more to speak to him about. So the more he puts things out there, the more people tie back into that and say, hey, let's talk about it. And then the more he pays attention to what they're doing, he's got what to talk about. And what are we doing? We're building on the relationship. We're strengthening that relationship. And in time, again, that is growing the network, which overall is building the mind share, which ultimately is helping us get the market share. Now, you could do the same. Okay? You could do exactly the same as what my client is doing here when it comes to that YouTube and the door knocking. And it doesn't have to be YouTube and door knocking necessarily, but I am going to say to you, choose one primary online channel and then pair it with one, primary offline channel. See, for me, my online channel, I guess that's a loaded one, right? We've got this podcast, we've got our Instagram, we've got our website. But I tell you, my Instagram and probably this podcast are two of my more primary online channels. We're very consistent with our email because, again, we've got to use a multi-channel approach. But social in this podcast, okay, well, where's the offline? Well, that's me being in front of groups, training and keynote speaking and being in an event. I'm the same guy. The same guy that you listen to on this podcast right now is the same guy you're going to see on a stage, which is the same guy that you're going to see riding a Harley, which is the same guy you're going to see on a baseball diamond. But in doing that now, I become real, I become authentic, I become more trustworthy. And yeah, not only do we have this great online presence, but we actually show up in person, which makes us very real, which means people want to connect. Now, I want to say to you, at this point right now, just as a starting point, if you're not doing this just yet and you're thinking, I like this idea, I'm going to encourage you, stay consistent for at minimum 90 days. Okay, and as you can do that, that compound effect will begin to kick in. And then from there, we start building out the habit and we start doing it consistently and consistently and consistently. This is where that 10-year plan comes in for the follow-up. Because as we go right back to it, the whole idea here is about relationships, about networking. I started off the show by talking to you about the ORCF ride that I'm doing, the Ontario Realtors Care Foundation. We're doing this ride for the third time in 3 years. We've been raising a ton of money as individual riders. I say we, Jennifer joins me on it. But we've also been raising a ton of money as an organization, as an association. Foundation. We've been doing that, and it's been amazing. We've been helping a ton of people. Now, the extension of that is, as I'm out there riding motorcycles, I'm meeting a lot of great people, or I'm seeing a lot of people that I've ridden with in the past that I know from the industry, and it's tightening our bond because when we're out there, we're on bikes, we're all in a common place. There's a common connection point. We start building a tighter relationship. We've got a different connection. I've got another reason to reach out to these folks. I also mentioned about the mastermind. Again, another place to network with people, and we're coming together, and everybody's talking and spending time together and sharing with each other. And as we come out of that room, the referrals increase huge. The networking increases. People are coming from coast to coast. So you've got a network across the country of referrals. And when somebody's thinking about you in this neighborhood, they're going to think about you first versus somebody else. So again, as we're doing this on a regular basis with everybody we meet and we're putting them into the CRM, we're always going to have a group of people every day that we're supposed to be following up with, which also means we're building tighter relationships with from both a business and a personal perspective. So the takeaway here, your net worth is built on your network. But just not just any network. We're talking about the one that you nurture, the one that you stay in touch with, the one you build a mindshare with. So have a follow-up plan. Set clear expectations. And show up everywhere that your audience is. Again, that's the multi-channel approach and why I told you get that free Ultimate Marketing Bundle on my website. It'll tell you what the everywhere is. Because in this market, the agents who are top of mind, they're the ones who win. They build the mind share, they get the market share. You've been listening to the MindShare Podcast. Go to mindshare101.com to grab your free Ultimate Marketing Bundle, learn more about coaching, and join us at the MindShare Mastermind this September. Follow me at David Greenspan 101 and DM me the word mastermind if you want details on joining us in Toronto. Big thanks to Kits, Rem Magazine, and Revel Realty for sponsoring this episode. This has been another episode of the MindShare Podcast. Keep building MindShare, and thank you for tuning in.